Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Well, hey, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing really good. It's time to tear another page off the calendar. I cannot believe that 2016 is done. 2017 is here. How did that happen?
I love it.
Doesn't it seem like just the other day it was New Year's going into 2016? You seem awfully tired.
Oh, I'm exhausted. This year has killed me. I am
At least
so
it hasn't literally
glad.
killed you like all of the celebrities that have gone this year.
I'm just glad it's gone. I'm glad it's gone.
We're gonna
miserable year.
Taking a look back at 2016 here later in the program, and we're also going to talk about a lot of interesting New Year's trivia kind of stuff. The fear of fear itself may make people more vulnerable to developing certain psychiatric disorders. A new study says people who are especially sensitive to the physical signs of anxiety have a higher risk of developing anxiety disorders, including panic attacks. So they say if you're prone to be afraid of things, you might actually become more afraid of things. What do you think of that?
I'm not really afraid of things.
Yeah, just don't sweat it. It's going to be fine. Coming up, special things going on this weekend. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, December the 31st. Friday, it's First Nights. It's Global Champagne Day. Leap Second Time Adjustment Day. Look on the Bright Side Day. Make Up Your Mind Day. New Year's Eve Banished Words List Day. Whatever that is. New Year's Dishonor List. Universal Hour of Peace Day, and World Peace Meditation Day. Sunday, January the 1st, is Copyright Law Day, Commitment Day, Ellis Island Day, Euro Day, First Foot Day, Global Family Day.
Weird.
Mummers Parade Day, New Year's Dishonor List Day, Polar Bear Plunge or Swim Day, World Day of Peace, and Z Day. And one other thing, New Year's Day. Yeah. You knew I'd get to it eventually. Going to talk about New Year's Day and all kinds of fun New Year's stuff on today's program. Thanks for listening this weekend.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. From the No Good Deed Goes Unpunished files, Springfield, Michigan is where we go. Roger Lake, there we go, was plowing the snow from a driveway for a family friend who had a bad back. He was pushing the snow, including what had been deposited at the end of the driveway by city trucks, into the grass across the pavement. That's when Springfield officer pulled up and wrote him a ticket for violating the law against pushing snow across streets. For his good deed, he was now fined $100 and could face up to 90 days in jail. So he stopped to help a friend who had a bad back, didn't know there was some sort of rule against pushing the snow over there. When he found out, he quit doing it, but they said, I'm sorry, it's too late. Here's your ticket, $100 fine, could go to jail for 90 days.
Well,
How crazy is that? And first of all, I wanted to say, Roger Lake, how nice of you to help your friend out. I wonder if the friend is going to chip in on that fine. Maybe the friend should have told him, oh, by the way, you don't want to push the snow over there because you'll get in trouble for that. Coming up, we have your brain on drugs. We have your moment of duh, your scoop of the day. And also today, instead of having a guest, we're going to be talking about a look back at 2016. And we're also going to be talking about some interesting New Year's Eve info. So that's all, or New Year's Day info, or New Year's info, whatever. It's all on the way. You'll know it when you hear it.
okay.
I don't know it because I haven't heard it yet. But thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A heavily intoxicated 42-year-old Jackson, Wyoming man ordered a burrito from a convenience store and then passed out on the floor before he could pay for it. Police arrived. They used money from the man's pockets to pay for said burrito, then hauled him off to jail for public intoxication. Like, yeah, we're here
I
to get
don't
the
know
guy.
why this makes me happy,
We're
but
here to
this
get the
makes
guy.
me happy.
Hey, what about that burrito? Okay, well, let's see if he's got any
that's
loot.
funny.
Hey, look at that. He had some money. There's your dough for the burrito.
Wow.
Did he get the burrito, do you think?
Well, probably not. The
When they
officers
took him-
probably ate it on the way to
They
the
took
jail.
him to lockup. Do you think he got to eat it? I just don't think that's fair. I hope he got his burrito.
Oh, what an idiot.
42-year-old in Jackson, Wyoming. The good news is, at least I found out that it was a man and it was there. If I thought that it was here, I would have asked you what you've been up to lately. Got a hankering.
That's not nice.
Got a hankering for a burrito. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. In Suffolk, Virginia, Jasmine Turner was purchasing supplies at a local shopping center when police called her cell phone and said, "Hey, there's a child locked in your car." Problem is, Jasmine has not locked her child in her car because she has no child.
Oh.
Nevertheless, there was a child locked in her car, and police couldn't wait the 5 minutes that she said it would take to get back to the car, so they broke out the windows and they rescued the child, which turned out to be nothing more than a wig on top of a pile of blankets.
Oh.
When Jasmine returned from the store, the police had left, but several $100s in damages had also been left to her vehicle, and now the police refused to pay for it.
There you go.
That doesn't seem very right.
It doesn't.
And she's like, "I don't even have a child. No, there's a kid in your back seat. No, there's no kid in my back seat. You know, I'll be right out. I'm coming out right now." But they broke the window out to just find out, oh, never mind, that's not a kid. It's just a wig. My bad. See you later. Didn't even pay for the damage. That doesn't seem right to me.
It doesn't seem right,
Oh.
but you know what?
Coming
Things
up.
in life are not necessarily
No,
fair.
I hope that their insurance pays for it or something. Coming up, we have your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. The French don't necessarily hate their DMVs any more than we do. It's just that a Paris court has just upheld the country's government ban on people smiling for their passport and ID photos. One official had challenged the required straightforward pose, lamenting that the French should be encouraged to smile to overcome the perpetual national depression that supposedly permeates the country's psyche. But the court said no. So next time you pose for an ID in France, look straight ahead, keep your mouth enclosed, and do not smile, or you can get a fine. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
So, in the United States, can we smile in our passport photos and in our our ID photos and
Only
stuff?
the coolest states can smile.
So some states you can,
Some states you can.
and some states you cannot.
Some states you cannot.
Wow.
They look miserable.
You look like a mugshot. Yeah, wouldn't let me smile.
They said no.
Nobody wants to eat a cold McDonald's burger. Wait a minute. You know what? Maybe some people do. Our son. This is the craziest thing. Well, I'll come back to that. You remember that we're going to talk about our son. It says here, nobody wants to eat a cold McDonald's burger, but few of us are prepared to go 129 miles an hour to make sure that it doesn't happen. That's exactly what happened in Blythe, England. We talked about this guy. Why is he back in the news? Police followed a 32-year-old man, clocked him at 129 miles an hour. When asked what the rush was, he said, "I want to get home before my burger and fries cool off." This is why. He had been given a 20-week prison sentence, suspended for a year, banned from driving, and ordered to take an extended driving test. So that's why, because now that's what happened. He finally made it to court. 20-week prison sentence, and it says suspended for a year. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you think suspended from driving for a year? Probably. I don't know. Anyway, that's what happened there. Speaking of cold McDonald's, our son was joining us at Christmas time, and they have something called a holiday pie, which I'd never heard of before. And he was, sitting in our living room, and he walked out to his car, and then came back in. He's eating this thing, and I was like, "What is that?" He goes, "Oh, it's a holiday pie." Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
It was in my
Did you
car.
taste it?
Yeah, it was. I thought it was okay.
Ugh.
Well, it had been sitting in his car for 3 days.
No,
at
I
this
didn't
point.
have that one. We were at McDonald's together, and I had one, and it was pretty.
That's not
I was
for
like,
you?
you can have mine.
Well,
that's
so
all
then-
yours.
Then it gets even better. A day later, this is like day number 4 of his little holiday visiting us. Like a day later, he goes out, comes back in with another one. I'm like, how many of those do you have? He's like, oh, this is the last one. I said, why did you leave them in the car? He goes, oh, it's cold out. It's like a refrigerator. I was like, Troy, see that thing over there? That is a refrigerator. You should have put them in there. Anyway, back to this. No matter where you work or what you do, chances are you'll feel more stressed on Tuesdays. Even if you want to be more specific, 11:45 on Tuesdays. That is the word from a UK company that was trying to find out when we are the most stressed. So if you want to know when people are the most stressed, Tuesdays, 11:45 in the a.m. 2 UK pet insurance companies found in a recent survey that almost half of dog owners are worried their dogs will be kidnapped or stolen. Have you ever worried about that?
No.
I don't think anybody wants our dogs, not even us.
I've never worried about that. I've worried about them getting lost, but I've never worried about them getting stolen.
When
or
I was a little
kidnapped.
boy, we had a dog that was stolen. We had him hooked up in our backyard, and then we came outside, and the thing had been unhooked, and he was gone. So somebody came and unhooked him and took him. Anyway, many have used sick days to stay home with a new cat or a new dog or other pet. Workers increasingly want employers to provide pet-ternity so they can take time off.
Oh, good Lord.
When they get a new pet. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Pet-ternity?
Nothing surprises me anymore, honestly.
And our final story here, the central Chinese city of Wuhan. I think that just sounds like a fun place to go. Where are you heading? Wuhan. They have a law that fines women who have children out of wedlock. So no Wuhan going on at Wuhan. Yeah, so there you go. You get a fine. I wonder how much the fine is. Does that sound like something that makes sense to you? A fine for having children out of wedlock?
I don't know.
Does that sound fine? Okay, maybe not. Coming up, we have... we don't have a guest. My guest is going to be Heidi Small. We're going to be looking back at 2016 and talking about New Year's, and that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show New Year's weekend. What do you think of that?
I'm
New
so
Year's.
glad. I am so glad this year's done.
I put this together the other day. Actually, I didn't put anything together. It's called New Year by the Numbers, presented by Wallet Hub. These guys send me all kinds of stuff. Now, look at how long this graphic is. Here's where it starts, and I'm going to scroll, and I'm going to scroll, and I'm going to scroll. Look how long that is. Just keeps going and going and going.
Crazy.
So you try to post that on Facebook, and it shows up as this tiny little thing you can't even read.
Oh.
So what I had to do, I posted it the other day, so I've had it up now for a few days. I posted it, and then it links to our website, but I put a special page up just for this because it really is cool. They put a lot of time into this.
All right.
So
Anyway.
it's called New Year by the Numbers, presented by Wallet Hub. So first of all, before we even get to this, I want to ask you, think right now about the best thing that happened to you personally or that you think was like the highlight of 2016. I'll think of my own, and then we'll talk about that at the end, all right? So think if you have like a highlight of 2016, whether it has to do with this program or our nation or just you in particular or what your husband got you for Christmas or what, whatever. So,
All right.
okay. 83% of Americans will spend less than $200 on celebrations for New Year's Eve. We are in that 83%. We don't spend that much on, it's just, some people go all out. Like
Right.
they have like these gigantic, amazing, elaborate things, and we're like, no, not gonna be. 20% of Americans celebrate New Year's Eve at a friend's house. About half, 48%, plan to celebrate at home. So 20% at a friend's house, 48% at home. Doesn't leave a lot of people to be going out to the parties, does it? 9% of Americans plan to be at a bar, a restaurant, or an organized event. It says here, 22% of Americans don't plan to celebrate New Year's Eve in any way. I mean, there's no plan, and this is not just this year, this is every year. 48% plan to count down the last 10 seconds with their kids by 9 p.m. So they're like, okay, kids, we're going to celebrate in England right now. 30% of Americans fall asleep before New Year's Eve at midnight. 44% of Americans plan to kiss someone at midnight. I'm going to be smooching you. You going to be ready for that?
Oh, yeah.
61% of Americans say a prayer on New Year's Eve. I do that, but I do that on every eve. 20% of all charitable donations are made within the final 48 hours of the year. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. We just talked about that, actually.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Americans' favorite holidays are 78% say Christmas, 74% say Thanksgiving, 47% say Independence Day, and coming in at number 4 is New Year's Eve, New Year's Day this weekend. 41% say it's my favorite. It says here, people will travel at least 30 miles from home for New Year's Eve, 100.5 million people. That's a lot of traveling.
That is.
Where do you think are the most popular destinations for New Year's Eve parties? Like, if you're going to travel somewhere, where are you going?
New York.
That's number 2. Do you think you can figure out what number 1 is?
No.
Orlando.
Oh.
Going to hang out at Disney World, probably.
That surprises me that that's higher than New York because of the whole ball drop thing.
You know, but it's warmer there, so I'm thinking that's probably why. And then Honolulu, Hawaii comes in number 3. So I would like to celebrate. Maybe next year we can go to Honolulu, Hawaii. What do you think?
I've never been to Hawaii, so I
haven't
would love
either.
that.
Would you go?
Oh, of course I would go.
91.3 million New Year's travelers will drive to their destination. 5.76 million will fly to their destination. 3.44 million will go by other modes of transportation like buses and trains and other things. $174. The average New Year's road trip is $174. $1,160 is the cost for a couple to enjoy dinner and a show on New Year's Eve in New York.
This is kind of boring.
Are you kidding me? This is fascinating stuff.
I mean, it's just a list of statistics. Do we need this?
Yes, the most expensive New Year's is going to be in New York City, $1,160. Where do you think, in the major metropolitans, where do you think are the cheapest places for New Year's?
I really don't care.
Washington,
why are we talking about this?
Washington, D.C. So you're not fascinated by any of this?
Not really, no.
All right, well, let's see if there's anything else that's important on here. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. No, really nothing. Oh, hey, New Year's Eve is the busiest night of the year for illegal celebratory gunfire. Does that interest you at all?
Now that's interesting.
I figured that might. And New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are the 2 of the top 6 most popular days for car theft. So make sure your car's locked today. That could be, for whatever reason, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, people are stealing cars. I'll bet it's because people are drunk and they just get in the wrong car. So here's my thing. If you're celebrating this whole weekend, make sure you're getting a designated driver. That's always a good plan. That's a good plan.
Absolutely.
Every night of the year.
It's a necessity.
Yeah, it's important stuff. All of this info from Wallet Hub, you can see a link to this entire, they call it an infographic at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And there's a little link there that'll take you to it. Do you have a favorite moment or like a favorite memory from 2016?
Not really. This whole year kind of just really sucked.
Then we'll just move on. She didn't like the graphic. She didn't like that. We'll be back with something.
The election made me very happy. I'm not going to lie. That was probably the highlight of my whole year, which gives me very positive outlook on this coming year. So I'm excited for the coming year.
Nice.
Very excited.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
As beautiful as the Caribbean is, or is it the Caribbean? How do you say it?
I say Caribbean.
Caribbean Queen.
Anyway,
only 1% of the islands in the Caribbean are inhabited. So 99% have nobody on them.
we need to buy ourselves an island.
Why buy it? Let's just go pound a flag in and say it's John and Heidi'ville. Also, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The inhabitants of Papua New Guinea speak over 600 languages. It's actually close to 700 languages. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Yellowstone National Park was the first national park in the United States and the first national park in the world. What do you think of that? It's pretty cool stuff. And our final fun
And the
fact...
first one to have a cartoon. Isn't that where Yogi was?
No. Oh, yeah, that was.
Was he in Yellowstone?
Or was it Jellystone?
Jellystone.
Jellystone, yeah.
I don't know.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
D.C. In Washington, D.C. Do you know what D.C. stands for?
District of Columbia.
You are smart. Did you get that all on your own? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this New Year's weekend. This is a big time of year for people to be making resolutions. Do we have any resolutions that we're doing here?
Yes, we are going to lose weight.
We are going to.
For sure,
Yes,
we are
it is
going to.
Well, I don't think I can gain weight without buying a whole new wardrobe.
No.
I've
Neither one of us are gaining weight.
stretched my shirts to the limit and my pants barely buttoned, so I'm going the other way from now on.
We're going to be
I have
looking good.
Yeah,
and then
we're
we're
gonna
going
be
on a vacation.
dapper and handsome, and you'll be beautiful and
Yeah.
svelte. Is that a thing?
Svelte?
Svelte? I don't know. Whatever. You'll be something. Can I say sexy on the radio? You'll be that. That's what you'll be. New Year's resolutions are easier to make than they are to keep, but you can increase your chances of succeeding by following these tips from some expert people.
Alrighty.
Limit the number of resolutions. 1 is the best. Don't do 10. Don't do 12. Never more than 3. But make one good resolution and then stick to it. Next, be specific. Don't have a vague goal of, we're going to lose weight. Have a goal of, we're going to lose this many pounds.
Well, we each have to have a different goal.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to lose 50 pounds.
How much am I going to lose? 100?
Probably.
That'd
would
be a good goal. For those of you listening going, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I've really packed it on this last year. I'm not going to lie. It's a good thing this is radio. My belly would be like touching the screen if it was
You are
television.
not that
Okay,
bad.
it's not that bad. But next, choose an obtainable goal. Maybe we should have read that first. Choose an obtainable goal. Resolving to look like a fashion model is not realistic for most people, but a goal of exercising daily, well, that's quite possible to achieve. Next, don't choose a resolution that you have been unsuccessful at year after year. You are likely to fail. We've done that every year since we've met.
No, we've been successful several times.
Yeah,
We just,
couple
after we
times.
reach our goal, we just go right back to what we did before.
My
So-
favorite was the time that we reached our goal. We're like, that's awesome. What do you want to do? I'm like, let's go to the buffet. Okay.
Yeah, buffets are off limits now, by the
I
way.
love buffets. Ask friends and family members to help you with your resolutions, and you'll have somebody to be accountable to and somebody to blame when you fail, which is my favorite part.
It's all your fault. You didn't.
If you do fail your resolution, get up, dust yourself off, and start all over again, because try again. So there you go. Ways to
go.
keep your New Year's resolution from the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
If you were 8 months pregnant, would you want to go parachuting?
No.
Probably not, right? Well, Maria Usova of Moscow ignored her doctor's warnings and decided, I'm going
course
to
she
go
did.
on my daredevil adventure.
Wow.
Even though you said not to, guess what? Halfway through the jump, wow, I just broke my water and I'm in labor.
What a shock.
Although close to passing out at times, she managed to control her descent and land safely, where she immediately began to give birth. Doctors on hand rushed to her aid to help deliver the baby. Yusova said the last words she remembered hearing is, "It's a girl!" And then she woke up in the hospital hours later.
Wow.
So what do you name a baby like this?
Ariel?
That'd be a good name. That'd be a very good name. Yeah. See, that's even better than what I was thinking. So. Perfect. We'll go with Ariel. She was born during a skydive. Coming up, we've got a woman who attempted to propose marriage to her boyfriend by buying him a ring, and then he accidentally ate it.
Wow.
That is on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
New Year's weekend is a special weekend for a lot of people. It's special for us because that is when my beautiful bride over here and I decided that we were going to get married. And I can't say that I proposed because I kind of officially didn't. I just said, 2000, hey, this would be a good year to get married. I would always know how many years we were married. So we should get married this year. And you're like, yeah, we should. And then later you reminded me, you kind of ripped me off. You didn't really give me a proposal. So I gave her a proposal the night before we got married, but I was pretty sure she was going to say yes. But speaking of proposals, a Norwegian man accidentally ate his hidden ring inside of his porridge. His girlfriend was going to surprise him with a proposal of marriage. He says, now I am 24 carats heavier, he said. Jane Grimm, who hid the ring in her boyfriend's porridge at a Christmas party, said she thought that her proposal...
porridge at a Christmas party?
I don't know. The Three Bears? I'm not sure. This one's hot. This one's cold. I have no idea. Anyway, said that she thought her proposal had been ignored, and then she realized as she looked in his bowl it was gone. And then she thought, wait a minute, did you eat a ring? And he's like, well, there was something. It was in there, so he swallowed the ring.
Wow.
He didn't know what was in it. Thought it was just a clump. I was like, oh, I don't know. It was just a clump. I'm good. We'll have that ring back out in a few hours. I don't know how that works. So is that ring going to make it all the way through, do you think?
It'll go through.
Will it? Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy's going to have an interesting hobby for this. Coming up, we've got more fun stuff on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, we celebrate with family and friends.
And sometimes that involves drinking.
If you're going to be celebrating, please have a designated driver.
I lost my cousins to a drunk driver. They were only 8 and 12 years old.
Their lives were cut short because the driver was drunk and made a terrible choice.
Make good choices. Have a designated driver.
If you or a loved one has a problem with drugs or alcohol, now may be a great time for the gift of sobriety.
You can call Keystone Treatment Center at 844-204-1055.
That's toll-free, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
Francisco Guerra, whose company Snowmasters Incorporated makes machines that churn out fake snow for Hollywood films, is also the man behind the latest advertising sensation, something he calls Flogos. Basically, they're foam clouds shaped like corporate logos. They'll float up to 20,000 feet in the air. The 4-foot shapes are made from tiny foam bubbles filled with helium. They can travel for 30 miles before evaporating into thin air. This is a neat idea.
Cool.
He's invented a machine that can manipulate bubbles into any shape and pump them into the sky at a rate of 1 every 15 seconds.
That is so cool.
He's already got the attention of Disney, and he's been hired to send cloud shaped like Mickey above Disney World. He says, best of all, Flogos are environmentally safe because they're made from just water.
I bet it's
and
not
air
cheap to hire this guy to
and
come in
helium
and do that.
And a little bit of soap. Yeah, probably not. But
Sure,
how
it's
cool would it be to
insane. Oh
send
my
up
gosh,
a
so
giant
cool.
John and Heidi Show logo.
Yeah.
Bloop, 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 station logo up in the air.
Love it.
And hey, tune in, listen to some silly stuff on the John and Heidi Show. Maybe that's a lot to say with bubbles. It should just be, tune in. I don't know. We'll have to think of what we're going to do when we get this bubble machine. I wonder how much it costs. You think you buy the machine or you rent the machine, or how does that work?
I'm sure you just rent it, I would assume. I don't
Well,
know.
we're
If
gonna
you
have
could
to-
buy it, that would be amazing. Because then you could do it every day.
Oh, yeah. You'd have it like a little cloud factory spitting out bubbles all day long.
That would be so cool.
I don't know. This dude is in Hollywood and probably not going to be bringing his bubble machine.
Probably
to
not
us
coming
anytime
our
soon.
way, no.
But he's doing a thing for Disney. So, we've got, at this radio station, we've got the budget that Disney has, pretty much. No, we don't? Oh, we don't have a budget. Never mind. We don't. We have no budget. That's what it is. Hey, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I'm just being silly. We appreciate you tuning in this New Year's weekend. We've got some good news coming your way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. By the way, we almost always share our good news on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. So if you're ever down in the dumps and you're needing something to just cheer you up and make you happy, if you go to that page, you typically will find some pretty darn good news there. Like this. 200 strangers just surprised this mom with donations for her cancer treatment. How cool is that?
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah, so there was a group of people who decided, you know what, we're going to help out. This young lady's going through this tough time. There's a really cool video you can watch, but it's just so sad that people have to go through tough times like that. And it is amazing, the generosity of a stranger. And it's, generosity of friends is really cool. But when it's just a stranger that says, hey, you know what, I want to help out because, you shouldn't be going through this alone. We're going to help. So how many people? 200 strangers helped make donations. So it's a really cool story. You can see the video at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Do we talked briefly about the fact that this New Year's weekend is a special weekend for us because it was 17 years ago this weekend that I convinced this gorgeous woman next to me to marry me. And I still kind of feel bad that I tricked you into it.
You didn't trick me.
I kind of tricked you into it.
You're giving yourself way more credit.
I was like, hey, this would be no, guys, take note, by the way. I didn't say, hey, will you marry me? Because that's like a 50-50 chance. Like, she could have said no. But I said, hey, 2000, this would be a good year to get married, wouldn't it? And you're like, oh, yeah, I suppose. I was like, then I would always know how long we've been married, And you're like, yeah. And she was a travel agent at the time. And I was like, you should find some exotic destination where you've always wanted to go. We should go there and get married. So we went to Jamaica and got married. Mm-hmm. And then later people were asking, so how was the proposal? And she's like, he didn't propose.
He never proposed.
So then the night before, because we got married on February 11th, 2000. So on February 10th, the night before, we went down to the beach there in Jamaica, and I got down on one knee. And I pretended like I lost your ring. Remember that? That it wasn't ready?
Yeah, you said it wasn't ready.
So I had to smuggle a ring into Jamaica. You don't want to know where I had to put that. So I didn't really. It was in my carry-on. But I couldn't let Heidi know that it was in there. So I smuggled this ring in and get down on one knee and propose on the beach in Jamaica. And you said yes, which was nice. I'm glad you said yes. Otherwise, that would have been an awkward vacation. So much for the honeymoon. She said no. All right. Hey, it's been an amazing 17 years. I'm looking forward to another 17 or hopefully more than that even. Love you, baby.
I love you too.
Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great New Year's weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.